Stay away from him.
Why? He doesn't love you. I can make him love you.
Don't hurt him.
Silly, I told you I'm not gonna hurt you.
So this is Ethan's perspective?
Don't you dare.
So what? You're not my mommy. Remember?
Mia, how?
There's no time. You have to get out of here and find her. Here, take this.
What? Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Saving your life. You need to go. I won't be able to resist for much longer.
No,
Even with the antidote?
Now go kill that little bitch.
no. Mia! No!
So the antidote didn't do that much then?
Okay, you little bitch. Where the fuck are you?
Don't have anything. I'm thinking this may be the salt mine. Or we're about to enter it, at least. Yeah, so we got the salt mine, the labs. I have no idea if there's any more areas after that. Helicopter. Possibly umbrellas. I don't see a logo though. I see a circle on the tail and on the bottom, but I can't quite make out if they are umbrellas. So Umbrella knew that they knew about this.
Alpha 1, this is Bravo 1. Do you read?
This is Alpha 1. Report. Did you find anything?
A thorough search of the Baker property revealed 0 survivors. Repeat, 0 survivors. We did find evidence of a skirmish.
Eveline?
Negative. However, we did find several encrypted messages from the Baker's son Lucas to an unknown third party. You can probably guess who that was.
That's just great.
Umbrella?
We've had reports he's in the abandoned mine south of the property. I'm gonna go have a look.
Roger that. We'll meet you at those coordinates.
If you encounter Eveline, orders are shoot to kill. Repeat, shoot to kill.
I wonder if that's supposed to be Redfield or one of those voices. Ship Swamp Lab. So the salt mines will lead to the lab. Oh, these are the same cages from the trailer. I probably have enough coins to open them. I found quite a few. Or at least one of the cages. Okay, I rearranged my inventory. Had a little break, ready to go. 3 of them. Okay, I don't want to fight these guys. We make it to the elevator. Well, I don't have iframes. I don't think. I don't think you have iframes when you're hitting switches like that. Or at least I didn't when I was playing as Mia. Or maybe when I got hit as Mia when I was hitting the switch. Maybe that was a one-off. That was annoying as well. There's like an invisible barrier blocking you until the doors have opened fully, even though Ethan could fit between the gaps. That almost got me killed, or hit. Yeah, I wasn't going to try and outrun one of those. Oh, I could have baited him into the wires, probably. Yeah, this already feels pretty action-orientated. Dead end. Pick it up. I think that was Magnum ammo. Oh no, oh no. I can't move. I'm sorry, that flamethrower is useless. I don't care how much ammo they give me for it, I'm not going to use it. Not unless those flies come back, but I don't think they will. I think they're done for. Oh, damn it. Is there a way to see if they're rigged, or is it just luck? You just have to rely on luck. I know they're calling it the E series, or what was that? E nephrotoxin. But come on, it's the E virus. We got the G virus, T virus. I don't remember what the virus was in 6. Now we got the E virus. Oh yeah, that was from the videotape. Whose organization? Sensing the boss fight. I'm tempted to bring the grenade launcher with me. But if there is a boss fight, I think maybe my machine gun and their shotgun can handle it. Let's see. Dead end. Oh. I don't know how I dodged there. Quick. Make it quick. Out my way. Quick. I think that's it. Okay. Is it a big guy? Yeah. 2 of them. So I just had the loading screen give me a hint, and it said that you should try and shoot the legs of the fat molded. Apparently it trips them up. And 1 down. I'm dead. Okay, one down. What? Come on. Okay, that was pretty annoying. And if that killed me, I would have gone nuts if the explosion killed me. I'm sure I edited out the rest of my attempts, but I tried that about 5 times. Yeah, that was pretty irritating. Glad to be done with that. So is this the salt mines? It's just like a linear action set piece? It's just so far it's just been a barrage of molded enemies constantly. There hasn't been anything to it really. It's just fight, 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 move on, fight, move on, fight, move on. I'm wondering if we are eventually going to get to an open area where we'll actually have to find keys and do puzzles. Okay, this may be, we may be getting to the actual open-ended part. Where's grandmother?
I'm sure of it. It's not here. It's gone. It's gone!
Oh wow, how, what? We're back here. I did not expect to end up back here. I thought we were done with the mansion for good.
This is your fault.
Why am I seeing this?
Ethan, it's okay. It's okay, it's me. I know you didn't mean to hurt me.
Kill him, Mommy.
But you shouldn't have done that! It fucking hurts!
He doesn't want to be my daddy? Then he can die. Now it's Mommy's turn to kill you.
Am I supposed to go back in the attic? Or can I just leave?
You're gonna be one of us. And then maybe you'll play nice.
I'm not playing.
No! Get that away from me!
Is she actually there? Or is this another hallucination?
I have to do this!
It was a hallucination, okay. I can't leave.
Get away! No, you don't! Hey! Get away! Leave me alone! No, you don't! Get away! Leave me alone! No, you don't! No, don't!
Damn, instant death. Oh, my health was really low actually, so... Maybe it wasn't instant death.
Get away! No, you don't! No, don't!
Almost there?
Away from me! Stop! 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 No! No, no, no!
The grandmother?
You.
Everyone hacked me.
This is really reminds me of the William boss fight on the train. Come on. I'm in trouble. Come on. Was I wasting ammo there? Was I not supposed to shoot there at all?
I've been killed down. You're just a little boy. I just wanted a family.
Use it!
Bazooka? Oh.
Time's rolling.
This is the end? It's gonna be Chris.
I'm Redfield. I'm glad we found you.
The fuck took you guys so long?
Ethan?
Mia. You made it. I'm glad.
Did I?
They say that when one door closes, another opens. Well, a door closed tonight. And what a long night it was. But not just for me. Mia and I weren't the only victims here. So were the Bakers. It was that thing, Eveline, who made them that way. But now Eveline's dead. And these guys are here to clean up the mess. I had just come to terms with losing Mia. But now she's back and wants to start over. Put all this behind us. Maybe this is where the next door opens.
I'm really surprised that the game just ended here. I heard that this game has a lab setting. I guess I heard wrong. I was waiting for that to come up. Yeah, I've heard this song a million times. I'm not gonna listen to it again. Yeah, okay, so the first half was really good, I'll say that. I do think the game very quickly fell apart when you left the mansion area. When you got onto that boat and you got to the ship area. I mean, the ship area was okay. It was fine, but when you got to the salt mines, it just completely fell apart. There was nothing but a linear shoot 'em up action game at that point. It's like they tried to stick with the horror stuff for as long as possible, but then they just gave up. They didn't know what to do with the horror, with the survival horror elements anymore, so they just said fuck it. They threw it out the window, and then it just became 100% action towards the end there. Yeah, so the first half was really good, but when you left the mansion, it fell apart very quickly, I'll say. I did enjoy it though, overall. Another thing, I know I complained about this earlier, but the enemy variety really bugged me. So all you have are the molded, and then the Baker family. And whatever happened to Lucas, by the way? We didn't kill him. Is he still alive? If we killed him, I completely missed it. I mean, if we had the boss fight with Lucas and we killed him, I would have remembered it. Yeah, what happened to Lucas? He never died, did he? We killed the mother, we killed Jack. Lucas... What happened to Zoe? We don't know what happened to Zoe. Are these things they're saving for a sequel, maybe? Or maybe it's answered in the DLC? Because they're not a hero DLC with Chris. Maybe you fight Lucas and Zoe, whatever happened to her. Because she's still infected, right? We never did get an antidote to her. Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of loose ends here. Either they're saving them for a sequel, or maybe it's answered in the DLC. I have no idea. Huh. But yeah, the enemy variety, I almost feel as if they shouldn't have released the game. You might be saying I'm being a drama queen here, but only 2 enemy types, come on. The Baker family, I thought Jack was a lot of fun, but I like the design of the molded, but making them the only enemies in the game, aside from the Baker family, is a bit too much. I know the molded have slight variations. You have the fat guys, you have the crawling ones, and the regular humanoid ones. But it just wasn't much. They're basically the same thing. You can't really call them different enemies. They're basically the same thing. I wouldn't call this game scary either. Although I don't really care if a horror game is scary or not. I just want it to be a good game. But I will say that it wasn't really scary. The most intense part of the entire game was probably the chainsaw fight with Jack. I kept cringing on that every single time he swung for me. I was concerned. I was on the edge of my seat, basically. I thought that fight was really intense, but everything else was pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's good, but it could have been a lot better. I feel as if they were really lazy with this. Just like I said, the enemy variety. That's a big problem. Not big, that's a huge problem, I think. The enemy variety. The molded are fine. I like the design, but you need more enemies. And I'm not just saying you need zombies in this because it's Resident Evil. I'm fine with there being no zombies, but you need more enemies. I mean, throw some giant spiders in there. They were always great in the other games. They were always scary. In the other games, they were great. I mean, imagine fighting the giant spiders from a first-person perspective. That would have been awesome. So it's like the first half of this game was basically the old-school Resident Evils from a first-person perspective, which was great. And then as soon as you left the mansion, it became Resident Evil 4 from a first-person perspective, which isn't... It's not a nice mix. I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. It's just it was fine, but it fell apart very quickly towards the end. And as for the story, I just felt as if the story didn't really go anywhere. So they kept giving me this information on Eveline. I was like, okay. So when's the big reveal coming? Is there going to be a twist in the story here? But nothing There was nothing. It's like everything is exactly what you're led to believe it is. And I felt as if by the time you got to the end of it, it just felt you're like, that's it. It didn't really build up to anything. Like the story, in the grand scheme of things, was pretty lame. I was with the story, but then you get to the end and you're like, wait, that's it? Because I was following along with the story, expecting some big reveal. I was expecting for some, you know, some swerve ball, some twist, and nothing ever happened. It's just everything is exactly what you think it is, and there's no surprises or anything like that. Okay, so let's stop right there. This is my future self from 2021 jumping in here to clarify one or two things, because I think people are going to call me out on something here. So I just want to clarify one or two things. I've recently finished Resident Evil 8 at the time I'm recording this. So this is far into the future after, you know, I was just editing this back and I was thinking, oh yeah, I want to jump in here and add one or two things. So the one thing that I clearly missed was that Eveline was the old lady the entire time. So this goes back to me saying the story doesn't really ramp up. And I want to make it clear, I still stand by what I said, even though I know Eveline was the old lady the entire time now. It's because it's a fine reveal that Eveline's the old lady, but it doesn't really amount to anything. It's a fine reveal, but it's basically a twist without consequence. It's... Okay, so Eveline was the old lady the entire time. Okay, so what, you know? What... You know, what does that change? Doesn't really change anything. Eveline, you know, like what does it matter? Is okay, she's the old lady. So it's kind of like a twist without consequence. It's a fine reveal, but I'm just saying, when I'm talking about the story ramping up to something a bit more interesting, Eveline being the old lady the entire time is not that interesting to me. So I'm just saying, even though I missed out on my first playthrough, I still stand by that, even though I now know that Eveline was the old lady the entire time. It was like an accelerated aging old Snake Metal Gear Solid 4 thing going on. And I think what confused me was that when you inject Eveline, she turns into the old lady. So at first I was thinking Eveline tricked us into injecting the old lady instead of her. So she tricked us into wasting the injection on the old lady. I think that's what confused me. I think that's a fine mistake to make, though. I know I'm not the only person who missed that on the first playthrough, but again, I want to clarify. I stand by what I said, and I'll be jumping in at the very end of this video as well to clarify one or two other things. I know there's the Umbrella logo on the helicopter there. Someone once told me that Umbrella are the good guys in this. I think I read somewhere that... Like, I didn't spoil this on purpose. This was an accident, but I did read somewhere that Umbrella are the good guys in this. I think they said something like Umbrella are trying to clear up. They're trying to stop the infection. So that's an interesting angle to take things if Umbrella have been rebranded or are now trying to stop the virus. That's a cool angle for them to take. I do like that. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. It's fine. Like I said, I really liked the first half, but it felt... This game just completely shit the bed in the second half, I'll say that. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I'll just wait for the credits to roll. Maybe there's something at the end of them, which will sequel bait Lucas or Zoe, see what's going on with them. Yeah, that's it. 7 hours. Yeah, it was pretty short as well, I felt. Almost had every file, just missed one. Okay, missed 6 antique coins. So I do know that the Chris DLC, Not a Hero, is more action orientated, and they do add one new enemy type, I believe, in that DLC. I have no idea what the enemy is. I don't know if it's a classic enemy returning or a unique enemy entirely. Yeah, so bottom line is, the first half was really good. I really liked the level design as well, how everything kept doubling back on itself. That was great. But, damn, as soon as you left the mansion, whew, did the game take a turn. I've actually heard that the Chris DLC is actually not that good as well. I've heard bad things about it. I'll still play it, obviously. I'm a completionist. Like, even if I'm not enjoying the game, I have to finish it just for the sake of doing it. But I've heard bad things about the Not a Hero DLC, so I'm not expecting it to be any good, to be honest. And I'm not sure what it's even about. I guess it could just be you finishing off what's left alive, what's still alive in the Baker at the Baker Mansion. Yeah, that's all I can really think of. And possibly the Lucas thing, because he's still alive, right? I don't remember killing him. If he died at some point, I guess I just wasn't paying attention. But I'm pretty sure I would have took a mental note of that if it did happen. Yeah, Resident Evil 7, it's better than 6, obviously. Oh, let's compare to the horror Resident Evils, because obviously, I mean, why would you compare it to an action-orientated one? I guess... It's better than 0, because I think Resident Evil 0 is one of the worst games in the series. I actually didn't like it. But I will say it's better than 0, but it's weaker than every other game. So 0 is the worst, followed by 7. Although I don't think this game is awful, it's enjoyable, but like I said, it shit the bed in the second half. Yeah, it's the second worst game of horror Resident Evil, for sure, without a doubt. And the thing is, the controls are designed to be really like stiff and slow to make it difficult to run away from enemies. That's, you know, it's to try and make you feel helpless. I get that. But the thing is, the second half of this game turns into an action Resident Evil. But the thing is, the control scheme is designed, and the control scheme and your movement is designed for a horror Resident Evil. It's really slow to make it difficult to avoid the enemies. That's why it's to make it really scary, to make you feel helpless. That's why you move so slowly and your movement is so limited. But that doesn't work when the game becomes action orientated in the second half. So that just makes the shitty action part of the game even worse, because your controls aren't suited for the action experience. And like I said, the gameplay didn't really ramp up either. When you got to the climax, I was really shocked when it was the climax. Not just because I heard there was a lab setting in the game, which obviously turned out to be wrong. But not only that, just in terms of story and gameplay, nothing really ramped up. So it's like you're just going through the motions, and then all of a sudden you're like, this is the end of the game. But neither the story or the gameplay really ramped up to make me think that this is the end of the game. So, yeah. I guess it's good. But there's a big but at the end of it. It's good, but that's really it. Yeah, I'm done, that's it. Resident Evil 7. It was good, I guess, but the second half was pretty awful. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Okay, bye. Hey, my future self is back again to clarify one or two other things. I want to make it clear, because it seems as if I'm coming across as too negative, I think. I want to make it clear, I do like Resident Evil 7. I replayed it a lot. I got all the achievements on Steam and PlayStation 4, so if I got all the achievements twice, then I clearly enjoyed the game to a certain extent to want to do that. But just to clarify, I have one or two other things to add. But basically, I said that it doesn't really wrap up in the story, which of course I stand by. But also gameplay-wise is an important thing. Where basically when you get to the barn, they introduce the fat molded enemy types, and that's basically the final enemy they ever introduce. So it's important gameplay-wise for a game to ramp up as well. So you feel as if you're reaching a climactic moment, or the climax, the very end of the game. So you want exciting set pieces, but the game didn't really have that. Obviously, an easy way to make the game more exciting and to raise the stakes is either with a cool boss fight or to introduce new enemy types. Again, enemy variety is obviously something I harped on a lot, and I stand by. So, you get to the ship sequence, you go through that, you go through the salt mines, both of which are just fighting the exact same enemies you've been fighting the entire game, and then the game ends, and you're like, that's it. So it's not just story-wise, gameplay-wise, it's important to ramp things up, and that's just something they never did. And even with the boss fights, the pacing is strange, where they basically front load the first half of the game with boss fights, and then the final boss fight is just over halfway through the game with Jack in the barn. So you go through the ship, the salt mines, and you're just fighting cannon fodder, the same old enemies you've been fighting the entire game. So, and there's not even a proper final boss. Some people will, I guess, will try to argue that the final showdown with Eveline is a fight. I mean, come on, that's not a proper boss fight. It's just an on-rails thing. You're just shooting her. You don't even move. When she destroys the house and you're outside, you're just aiming and shooting. It's on rails and there's nothing to it. You're just shooting her. There's no dodging, there's no blocking. You're just shooting, and that's it. So the fact that there was no proper final boss as well is what really hurt it. And stopped it from feeling like, oh, this is the end of the game. It's really ramping up now. So I want to stand by that and just kind of, I think, because that's something I didn't explain, but I think that's important to say. Just gameplay wise, this did not ramp up. Story wise, it didn't, in my opinion, and gameplay wise, it certainly didn't. Just fighting the same things over and over again that you've been fighting since the barn, and no proper final boss. I mean, unless you want to consider Lucas in the Not the Hero DLC the final boss, I guess. But again, I want to make it clear, I do enjoy the game. It's just, it does have some serious flaws. But the serious flaws didn't stop me from replaying the game a lot. And another thing, one last thing, Eveline. I think Eveline conceptually is a fine villain. She's this child with powers who was basically isolated her entire life, studied and experimented on. So she kind of longs for what other children have, a family life. So she wants to create her own family using her evil powers. That's fine. Conceptually, I think that's fine. Good even. It's just, when you get down to it, Eveline is just a spooky ghost child. A cliche as old as time. Something we've seen done time and time before. And when you interact with Eveline as Mia or Ethan, she just boils down to a little girl screaming or laughing in your face, which is very obnoxious. And that's basically the extent of your interaction with Eveline. So, as a villain, again, conceptually, she's fine. But when you get down to it, she's not exactly interesting to interact with. So I think she's a terrible villain. I would go as far as to say she is the worst villain in the entire Resident Evil series. Even worse than whoever was the villain in 6. I think 6 was some guy called Simmons. I don't really remember. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember. It's some guy called Simmons. I don't remember his plan or what he even looks like. But Simmons was forgettable. That was his biggest crime. Eveline is annoying. And the fact that you deal with the Baker family for the first half of 7 makes her even worse. Because the Baker family were great villains. Jack, Margaret, and Lucas were awesome. You deal with them for the first half of the game and they're done with. And then you're stuck with Eveline for the second half. So the fact that you're dealing with great villains for the first half and then you're stuck with Eveline, who, in my opinion, is the worst villain in the entire series, that just makes her all the more worse. That you had such great villains in the first half. Like Marcus and Zero, I thought he was lame, but he's just forgettable. He's not annoying. I didn't actively want him to go away as he was on screen in Zero, and that's how I felt about Eveline. So, this spooky ghost child cliche, it's something which is difficult to pull off, and in 7, they did not pull it off well. Again, when you're interacting with the spooky ghost child, all she is doing is screaming and laughing in your face, and that's just obnoxious. I'm sure a lot of parents will love to insist that there's nothing scarier than a child throwing a temper tantrum. Maybe they're right, but it doesn't translate well to a survival horror video game. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say, though. That's something I wanted to mention as well that I didn't really mention on my, my immediate knee-jerk reaction to the game. I did not like Eveline. I thought she was a really lame villain. But yeah, again, just to clarify, you tend to focus on the negatives, of course, when talking about something. They tend to come, those are more in your mind, more so than the positive things. But I just want to make it clear, I do like Resident Evil 7. I replayed it a lot. The one thing that really annoys me is the unskippable cutscenes, which, fortunately, Resident Evil 8 rectified. But, no, I do enjoy Resident Evil 7, though. It's just, the second half, it does go downhill. I stand by that. But again, the shittiness of the second half, it doesn't take away from how good the first half of the game is. No, the first half of the game, it kept me coming back. I'll say that. So overall, I do still really enjoy the game. I just felt as if I was coming across as a little bit too negative in my initial, my initial recording or whatever. But I'm done though. The next playthroughs will be the remakes of 2 and 3, followed by Resident Evil 8. So thanks for watching, and see ya.